registration for the following year needed to be done in May with a student's advisor. Obviously, if you wanted a particular course with a particular faculty member, or you wanted a particular time slot for a class or whatever, you needed to see your advisor soon. And advisor appointments were always made available when the building opened at 8:30 or 8 o'clock on the Monday morning, the week before the registration. And students are very, very intelligent and very, very bright and very, very inventive. They figured it out. I didn't. That if you were in line when Harper's doors opened, then you went zooming upstairs and you got a good appointment with your advisor. Well, that word took a nanosecond to get around. People started coming with blankets and picnic baskets, and then there'd be a group that would come with a tent, and then there was one very inventive group that came with a very long extension cord so they could have music, and it got to be Sunday morning, and then it even got a little bit into being Saturday night, the weather cooperating. And so a couple of the advisors would show up late Sunday and be cheerful about it, and a little later on Sunday night. And then I asked one of the athletic department people, Leo Coker, the wrestling coach, and he was a resident head in Hitchcock at the time. And so he would come over and keep an eye on things. So, but it grew, and it was fun. It got a little noisy sometimes, but good heavens, noise on the quadrangle at Saturday night and all day Sunday. I don't want to say who cares, because that's not fair with people who had offices, but it was fun. But it was definitely while I was dean, but I didn't invent it. Students put that together. The Lascivious Costume Ball. And the less you wore to the party at Ida Noyes on the given Saturday night, the less you had to pay to get in. And so the LCB was an energetic student activity for a good number of years. And there would be a good deal of thought ahead of time about who was going to come least clad, and there always were one or two every year who didn't have to pay anything to get in for the obvious reason, and so that was kind of fun. In a way, I can say, why didn't anybody think of it sooner? It is so typically quintessential University of Chicago sort of thing to be doing. The fact that it got started and then began to succeed and now has its own internal momentum and motivation, it's perfect. So there's an enormous amount of pride. I think of things in the course of the year and say, now that would be a very good thing to put on next year's hunt list. And I have made a few suggestions that have made it onto the next year's list over the years. There's always a road trip, and one year the road trip meant going north, and to go to the top of the state of Michigan, where there is a bridge that connects the upper and lower parts of Michigan. And then off to east of the bridge is an island, Mackinac Island, which its chief export is fudge. And so I thought, and we thought, I talked to Chris about it, and that to get as many different samples of fudge, because at the moment, I think now there's 7 different stores that sell fudge. Back then there were only 4, and have that be an item and come back. Well, the road trip people came back, but often the boxes were empty. But so that was one. What else have I? Oh, I don't. I urged, and I don't think they ever used this, a referee's whistle that had the sports initials on it, whether it was NHL or NBA or whatever. I'm not sure they ever used that. I don't know. It's just you think of odd things, and you think, oh, hey, maybe that would work. A Christmas wreath. I can remember urging a Christmas wreath go on, not an artificial one, a real pine branches Christmas wreath. Hard to come by in May. So, you know.